Okay, so if you haven't met me before, my name is Alicia Barton and I draw using coloured pencil. I really love it. So I try and sort of get a realistic style. And I studied design and illustration at University of South Australia many years ago. And that was great fun. I learnt a lot there, and then I went on to do some graphic design at various workplaces, and I did like greeting cards, and which was awesome. And you can find them in the news agencies here in Millicent, which is kind of cool. And the cosmetic bags, I worked for Wicked Sister for a few months, sorry. And I did the packaging on there, the illustrations and packaging on there. Some of the cosmetics bags, and you can find them at Amcal here in Millicent, and the body collection, and some other things for like marketing and branding in illustrations for various brands. So I did like a series of illustrations for a braid. She was a professional braider called the Braid Lab, and I did like a marketing collateral for her. So that was really cool, just to draw hair all the time. One day I do want to illustrate children's books. That's what I'd love to get into, and just trying to find my style in that and practice and get things underway there. I have decided to draw an eye, so a realistic eye and a realistic hair braid. So if I get time for the hair braid, but I'm going to start with the eye. It is a really slow process, so just follow along with me, and because it's live, it'll just seem really slow. But I encourage you to get your pencils together and like follow along with me, because that'd be kind of cool, because you can do it as I go and maybe pick up some tips and tricks there. So, well, I've already drawn the eye shape here. Otherwise, I'd be here for hours and hours showing you, and you'd just be so bored. But you basically just draw the outline of the basic shapes of the eye. And that is a lot of use of the pencils. And I use this eraser, which it gets confused for putty, it's called a putty eraser, but it gets confused for blue tack a lot. People try and use it to pin up their posters, and I'm like, no, that's an eraser. But it's amazing because you can point it to any tip, and you can get like right in there, like yay. And then, so pencil, and then it is a lot of erasing and a lot of making sure that you've got that initial drawing down correct, because otherwise you'll just be drawing on top of something that's not 100% correct. But then again, like illustration doesn't have to be fully correct. Like beautiful art can be abstract and sort of not as perfect as realistic, but that's the style I love to do. I love to draw very slowly. So I'll just take a drink of my Milo, because I love Milo. It's life. Rightio, so I'm going to start right in the centre. I love doing the middle bit first. Work from the centre outwards, and always get the best, what do you call these, sharpeners that you can, because you need a super, super sharp pencil. That's way too blunt at the moment. I want it super sharp. Okay. So I've already got a smudge there. Yay. So get it on your fingers. All right, so I start off very carefully, just putting the first layer down, and it's just super light, because I don't want to press hard, because I don't want to kind of make any mistakes yet. Like it's kind of, you build it up layer upon layer. That's what coloured pencils are, basically. And a very important thing is I've got a reference photo here that I'm looking at on my computer, which I haven't shown you, but always go or get a reference, draw from something. I can't, not really anyone can draw from memory. No artist can draw from memory. If they say they do, they're lying. So yeah, I just put on that first layer. So it really is just so delicate. And that's what I love about coloured pencil. It's just predictable, and I like that. I find it tricky to work with acrylics because it's just, you don't know where it's going to go, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. And so you can see, then I go in with a little bit of blue, so I can see I've got a blue eye here. And I always start off with the lightest colour. It's too blunt. Sharpen. I recently got myself an electric sharpener because that'll be a lot easier. And you just want to, I just go in and colour the whole thing in, because you can see this colour coming through all of it. So that's just the base colour. It's just about, at this stage, it's just about getting the pigment down, getting the pigment on the page so you've got something to work with. I just find it super relaxing, like, ugh. And so this bit here, that square there, is all the white light that they're looking at. So that's why I've sort of stopped there with the black. Go around like this. It's just, doesn't have to be perfect here. There we are. So it looks quite simple now, doesn't it? But it'll get more intricate, I promise. Another blunt one. God, I'm not prepared, am I? I just love sharpening. It's just so much fun. Okay. So I go in with, so the details here are quite intricate. So you go in, it's a little bit of a blue-grey. I'm not going to press too hard here because I need to mix this pattern here with a few more colours. So if you notice like multiple colours in the same thing, you got to make sure that you don't wear out the paper. I guess it's just too much pigment on the paper and it'll just start slipping off the other pencil. Like it'll be too much pigment built up and that'll be it then, kind of. You have to erase it to get the pigment off the paper. This is very, very slow. I've deliberately chosen an eye with a lot of detail in it. And this is just going to build up and build up. I mean, I could easily go on a drawing and it could take hours. I've done a drawing that's probably been over 100 hours. And I'll just sit there and just draw and draw and draw for hours, and my butt will get sore. And everyone will be like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I love it. So you're sort of doing that delicate little center kind of starburst that happens in the eyes. Beautiful. The eyes have so many colours in them. So many patterns. They're quite beautiful. And then you sort of go around the centre. Oh my gosh. It's just a whole mix. It's not just one solid blue. I like looking at things I'm drawing as shapes. So that's a good way, I feel like that's an okay way of describing it, because like everything is a shape, everything. And like that's a shape there and that's a shape there. And if you break them down, it gets a little bit easier to, rather than just going, oh my gosh, I've got to draw a whole eye. You're like, well, no, I've just got to draw this line here, and I've got to draw that line there, and then that makes up that, and then it all comes together like a jigsaw. Very slowly, very slow jigsaw. I started drawing a long, long time ago. I remember I just drew for years. Just as a kid, I started drawing, and I'd always loved it. And I remember telling my mum that I wanted to draw for a living. And she's like, okay, let's just get through uni first and see what that does, what that gives you. I'm glad I did do uni and I got that graphic design degree, because having graphic design skills within art is handy, because I can do website, like I can do my website, I can do things to do with the computer easily, do some like digital, I have those digital sort of type skills as well, even though I love drawing by hand. I have that option there. There we go. So I'm missing these bits here because they are the eyelashes. You sort of see that, you can see the white showing through from the page. That'll all go. It'll all be smudged in with other colour. Okay. Now we've got a brighter colour here. I can just see a ring of beautiful bright blue here. You just want to blend it in. I don't think I've ever done as a detailed eye as this. Just follow that all the way around. I just make sure I keep an eye on what I'm doing. Every time I stop, I'm just looking at the reference photo. The reference photo is very important. That's what shows you what to follow and what colours to use and basically everything. A little bit of lighter blue in there. It's more like a light. Questions as well, just let me know. Sorry if you can hear me breathing as well. Right, we've got a little bit of extra blue there. I've gone too far on that, so I need to get that one. You can get the point in, and if you press lightly, then you can pick up the pencil with an eraser and it makes less mistakes, less room for error, which I like. Okay, so we go in. Being extra careful tonight. I just need to get straight in there. Usually I'll set up my drawing with a podcast. Bit of a podcast addict. I've got weird tastes though, so. Okay, and then there's a lot of grey. Grey there. This is starting to smudge it in. So the lighter colours will always smudge in the darker. I need to get another pencil. My trusty Polychromos here. Faber-Castell Polychromos. They are the first set I bought after when I was sort of decided to take coloured pencil seriously. I know expensive, but they're so worth it. Good coloured pencils are just well worth it. Everyone's enjoying their Thursday night. I hope if anyone's putting comments up, I'm sorry if I'm missing them. I can't see a thing. It's just not coming up with anything. So I apologise there. I might be able to get to them afterwards. I could be just dismally failing it, but, you know, it's all good. Start to just sort of blend in and add a few more. Might be too bright. Just grey it off. So I've got there, so add in a little bit more colour here. Okay. Right. So it's just layering upon layering of just all this colour. I think what I love most about it is the challenge. It's knowing that there's something tricky and I just want to tackle it and see what I can do. A little bit of blue there mixed with grey. The colours I've got here combined, because I've got 2 pencil sets. I've got like over 100 pencils here. Some serious pencil buying. I'm connected with all these computers and laptops and now I've got to add in some shapes. At the moment it's just colour, flat colour, but I want to add in a little bit of a darker blue. Oh, I use so many different colours. Even a grey blue. I want to just, so these tiny shapes here, there's like just a tiny, like this is how detailed and sort of crazy it gets. Another type blue. That's what I want. Just keep on trying different colours just so you can find the right one. Even if you lay it on there, it's fine. Like you just sort of, you can erase it, you can come back to it. Kind of looks like a piece of fruit, the eye. It's just got so many patterns and things. But again, it's just following the shapes. Following those shapes and then making sure it's correct. That's all going to be dark. I enjoy watching drawing tutorials on YouTube. I just find it super therapeutic. Just watching these people drawing. I mean, not real time because it's a bit different, but hopefully you're following along with me. Makes it a bit more interesting. But it is cool to see these artists doing such beautiful work. I admire a lot of artists actually out there now, and a lot of children's book artists, and some beautiful work being produced in that area. And it's just, yeah, they're stunning to see. It's just it'll start to slowly take shape and get a little bit darker and darker and darker. It's just, it all has to start off somewhere. There's an artist in Brooklyn, in New York, America, and her name is CJ Hendry, and I am obsessed with her work. She is a coloured pencil artist, realism, that's what she does. She does realistic, hyper realistic drawings. Oh my gosh, and she is just amazing. I follow her on everything and I just can't get enough. And I watch her videos and like her stories on Insta, and it's just amazing to see the talent that she has there and the patience. She runs her own art galleries and her own art exhibitions and things, and she just does lifelike giant great big pieces of work. And her first drawing was of Iron Williams boots, and she sold them for like $10,000 or something. She just pulled an amount out of her head, and like $10,000 for one drawing. Oh, wow. You can sort of see a little bit of detail going in now. So this is a real juicy bit. And again, they're still just shapes. They're nothing too scary. You just follow the eye. You follow your eye, not what you think is in the eye. You follow the eye through your reference photo. Make sure you're just following those shapes, because that's all they are. Sort of see what I'm doing there. It's all about dark and light and matching up dark and light and pressure. It's all about the pressure that you put down. I think this Interact Limestone Coast and all these things that are popping up because of COVID are really quite, I mean, COVID-19 is no good. I think the community and the way that we've sort of gotten together and we're able to share this kind of stuff is amazing. I would have loved this as a kid. I was chasing after any kind of education or anything in drawing, and just anything that was popping up. I just loved it. Loved it. I want to go all the way up there. I've drawn for so long as well, I've gotten cramp in my hand before. So it's not something that anyone can really sort of say. So I just keep following it around and make sure I get everything in, and sort of see, it sort of goes through a few stages towards looking realistic. It goes through like a what? That's not going to look realistic at all. It just looks weird. But I can assure you it certainly does. All about that. Blending in together. Sometimes the lines are not straight, so you want to add a little bit of a wonkiness to them. This is still just the initial layer. There are so many layers that are going to go on this. Everyone can still hear me, I hope. I'm getting through this whole video and then I rewatch it and it's just not worked. No sound. At least you get to see a drawing. These ones I'm just sort of adding in, looking a little bit at my reference. I just know that they're there. I'm not going to get too caught up in all that detail. I mean, that's just too full on. Sort of see there, starting to come up. A little bit there. There's not any light down there, so we want to make sure that's all coloured. That's the light source up here. It's really cool sometimes when you can see real close up in eyes, you can see what they're staring at. Okay. There's a lot of grey coming up. Grey and blue. This is starting to really flatten into the paper now. That's when you know you're sort of getting up to that end stage. That's when you know you're sort of finishing, I guess, with that section, because you can't really build it up too much. I know that these kind of pencils, Caran d'Ache expansive pencils, they are wax based, so they're really soft and they lay down pigment really easily. But once you build them up, they get to the point where it turns into a wax, just a wax kind of slippery build up on paper, and you can't go over it anymore, and then that can sort of be quite annoying. So I do like my Polychromos. They're a bit harder. I think they're oil based. What else have I got there? So I've got like more blue. I want more blue in there. Is that the right blue? No. It's a little trial and error. Sometimes I don't know what I'm really doing until I'm putting it on the paper. Yeah, it's starting to get real dark. I'm just going to go in there and do that real dark. these little spots. Just want to neaten up areas as you go. I don't want to miss all those little bits there because I don't want too much pigment on them. Now, a little dark up here. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So, and I hold the pencil really weird, I've been told before, but works. I convinced everyone to become a coloured pencil illustrator. Funny. I find this just good fun. I'm going to see if I can actually, while I've got you all there, let's see what I can do. I've got to keep an eye on the time as well, because otherwise it's just going to get so late. I mean, it's already been a half an hour, my gosh. I was going to just see, just in case people can't get through to me, I'm just going to double check. Anyone wants to let me know if they can't hear me or anything, that's just send through a little text or something and just let me know. Anyway, going in with a lot more detail. I mean, there's a lot of quiet time with drawing and art, really. And that's what I love about it too. I like my quiet time. Just gonna forgot that I have Milo. It's very cold now. It's cold. Sometimes I just end up holding 1,000 pencils in my hand and then I'm like, what was I doing? Starting to really get that pigment down. Oh, good. Hope everyone's following. I'd love to see if anyone's following along with me. I'd love to see what you're drawing as well. That would be so cool. Getting into sort of teaching and tutorials has sort of taught me how to break down what I do, because normally I would just be like, I just draw. Like it's just on the paper and it's just, a lot of it was practice, so much practice. Just like with anything, like if you learn how to play the piano, which I did for 4 years and I was really bad at it. But yeah, everything is just practice makes perfect. And if you love something, it's just, you're just going to practice at it. Like, you're just going to love it and keep doing it. Now, a bit more colour over here. I might not get to the hair tonight. I don't want to stay on here too long for you. But I mean, I guess it's no biggie. I'd like to try and finish this one for you actually, just to show you the whole thing. Colour pencil is that. It is just that process. Okay, there's this bit here that goes down like that. Now I'm being forceful with it. So really getting that pigment on. It's got some sharp edges to it. Okay. Sometimes the white does some awesome things. It blends colours together and it lightens up the colours, which is exactly what I need here. You can see that softness there, that's happened. It's exactly what I want. Yes. Now, I want more pigment here. I don't even know if it's called pigment. I remember at uni, my lecturer, we were doing studio, which was learning how to use different mediums. And I remember them doing coloured pencil, and the lecturer was just like, coloured pencil is like pushing pigment into the crevices of the paper ever so delicately. And I just remember thinking, my gosh, that sounds amazing. Now, sometimes I get stumped. I'm going to blend that bit in there. So what do I want? I want a grey. See how it's all just nicely blending in there. And you can go over with dark colours. To lighten those back up, to darken those back up, because I've lightened it going over with this one. I guess for those of you that have followed me for a little while, it's kind of cool to be able to see how I go about doing these drawings. And I've done a few commissions for some of you in the community, which is really lovely. Lots of support here in the Limestone Coast, which is amazing to see. That really dark there. Let me get my real dark here. So it's just starting, no colour is going down anymore. See, that's as good as I'm going to get that. I reckon I can do better. Get some black on there. See the wax from the Caran d'Aches have just gone down heavy on that. Now I'm going to go in and get that real dark. I want my other one, no. That's nice and sharp, yes. Oh, scares me. Just want to get that is just pitch black in there. Can't see anything. Make sure that we get that all in. That's just a quick layer up. Black colour. Say I'm cross hatching here. Crossing there and then going over it. Didn't really get that pigment in. Basically just colouring in. Literally just colouring in. So I want a sharp line here. Because that is very sharp light source on her eye. Just going in with a bit of grey just to really fill in those white gaps. Blending it. Now I'm just starting to, now there's a lot of pigment on that. And all this has got in this detail in the light, it's got some very strong bold eyelashes. The poor black pencil's getting really short. Okay, so we go in. Go. So to see what I'm doing there, it's just her eyelashes being reflected into her eyeball. Making sure I follow the reference as best as I can. Lovely. That just creates that realistic eye effect because all eyes have a light source unless you're in a pitch black room. Okay, so it's got a little bit of grey blue in it. I'm just going to lightly, oh my gosh, lightly go over. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a few reds. I've still got a little bit to go on the eye. I should just finish that. Getting ahead of myself. I'm just too excited. Sometimes I like to go in with rough strokes as well because that is what is necessary. I'll make sure so we can go over that grey. Yeah, really get that in. Okay. This is where I start pressing a lot harder and movements are a little bit more deliberate. Or strokes are a little bit more deliberate. So I'm starting to zone out because I get so lost in it. Chuck the music on and away I go. I also can't see who's here as well. So hello to anyone that's just sort of coming in and seeing what I'm up to and partway through an eye. Really appreciate you coming in, seeing what I'm doing with the drawing. Some dark bits, real dark bits there. Okay, I'm faffing with this eye, but I can just pick up different things that I've missed, and I'm going to start with the skin here next. The eye is always the first thing I like to do on a portrait. It just makes them human. Add in the texture. It's not smooth. Eyes look quite rough. Shape. Still pressing quite hard. The more pigment's on there, the more hard you've got to press. Needs to be darker. No, black. Black's the only one that's going to go over that. Remember to put any questions in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Anything you'd like answered? Anything you'd like answered, I'll be happy to help. Happy to answer any questions. So I love talking to people who also love drawing. I just like talking to people anyway. For those of you who have been with me from the start here, I think you guys are awesome. Once I get through this, maybe I'll finish up. Once I finish up, I'll answer some questions. Because I can't see any questions while I'm filming it. I do apologise. My eyes on the outside tell me that there are questions there, so maybe it's the way I've got the orientation I've got my camera. Okay, now I need to get onto this. So still, again, going in with the lightest colour, which is not that. I'm going to start with a flesh colour. Oh, it is not sharp. Yeah, so at the end of this, once I set it up, I'm going to go through my laptop to answer some questions after I've done this for you. I don't want to start rushing, otherwise I'm just going to freak myself out. So I've got some party music on in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but so you're going to see it coming up. I don't like what I've done in there. And then I want the dark bits. Of course, I've never got the right colour. Here we go. Just really lightly. Less is more. Okay, so I've left this light source here because I don't want to put any pigment in it because it'll just cloud it. It'd be really handy if I could read the questions so I could answer them while I'm drawing. So apologies, but I have no idea what I'm doing with this Facebook live thing. I'm just having fun drawing an eyeball. I make sure that because the eye is wet, it has to look like it's glistening. What lovely words. I've got my mother sending me through the thanks mum sending me through the questions that you guys have come up with. So Cara has asked, do I teach? Not yet. I'd love to. I want to hold classes throughout the Limestone Coast once COVID-19 has, once everyone's safe and we're okay to leave and everyone's safe to leave. I would love to be able to host some classes for kids and adults. To learn at beginners and intermediate. Yeah, I think that'd be great fun. And then Sarah's asked, is there a reason for the order you do the features in? And is it always the same with each portrait? That's a really good question. No, it's changes all the time. I usually just, my mood, I'm like, I'm feeling like, and it's an eyeball kind of day, so I'm going to start with the eyes. But yeah, I generally do like to start with the real detailed sections because that's what I love about a drawing. I love the detail. Julie has asked, can you show us some of your lovely work, please? Yes, I'd love to. Actually, I've got one here. I can show it. If you go on my like Instagram and my social media and my website, you can see a lot of drawings. Gosh, and this one was done with pen. So like red Bic pen. You know those clip pens? You know, they click and they've got like red, green. That's done with that. Yeah, oh, and this was done on wood. That one was done on a plank of wood. That was good fun. Oh my gosh, it took ages. Thanks for reminding me that I do other work, Julie. I'd love to do a class. Oh, thanks. Well, that's lovely. I think I really like teaching. When I was doing graphic design, I'd work at a place and then someone new would come in, and then I'd sort of just have to teach them what we do at that job, and just the way that we do things. And I'd love it. I'd love helping people and seeing people getting it, like just understanding it. It does take a lot of patience to be a teacher, and I know a teacher very closely. Hi, Mum. She does an amazing job. Lots of patience. So the type of pencils that I use are, this is from Unita. She's missed the type of pencils and paper I use. So the pencils I use are Polychromos, Faber-Castell Polychromos, and Caran d'Ache. These were like $350, like the whole set, not just this pencil. But they are, they're expensive. More, I think. I think it was like close to $400. And I just remember, wow, that's a lot of money. So they are like, I think they're the top you can get that I know of. And Polychromos, I do love these Polychromos. These are cheaper. They're like $250. And then there are Prismacolor Premier or Prismacolors. They are even cheaper, a little bit cheaper still, $200. But they're similar to the Caran d'Aches. These are luminance. And also the paper that I use is Bristol Vellum, Strathmore brand. So it's nice thick paper, and you want thick paper because it allows you to build up the pigment on the page. So then you can do what I'm doing and just like go over and over and over and over. So they're fantastic questions. Kristen's asked, what are your favourite brand? Definitely the Polychromos, I think. I bought the Caran d'Aches this year, and they're good. I just love my trusty Polychromos. I just feel like I can get that extra detail in, or you can make them to a finer lead because they're oil based. They're stronger. So that's why I like those. The other ones seem a little bit weaker. They're not weak, but like they just break down a lot quicker. Kara said that I have a steady hand. Yes. That's right. I think it's just that practice. It's all the practice. That's what I love about it. Just going in and I could do this for hours. And the thing is, I do it for hours, and then I get a sore back. And I get told off by my physio. Now, I need a darker colour here. So a lot of it's trial and error. So I start going, that's not right. And then I will go in and find another colour. And then that'll be better. Juliet, do you use a particular paper for your work? Yes. So the Strathmore Bristol Vellum. This is Strathmore Bristol Vellum, and it is like, the thicker the paper, the better. So it's like 270. Yeah, so 270, you're getting quite a weighty paper. So nice and thick. You want that thick paper so you can build up coloured pencil on it. So you can get this. This is vellum, so this has got a bit of a tooth in it, so it's a bit grainy, bumpy, and you can kind of see. No, it's a little bit grainy. So then the pencil sort of gets rubbed into the crevices, and so it builds up quite a bit. I've tried this same brand in the smooth, and I found that it was just like I couldn't really build up, I couldn't really like grind into the paper to get the pigment going in. So I'd recommend this visual journal costs like $50 or $60. Like it is just, it's expensive as well, but good paper, really good starting point, I think, for anyone starting out seriously with coloured pencils. So I love every time I go back to this one, always. I'm trying to find a different type of paper so it's not just A4. Like I want to work in really big, large works. And trying to find that is proving quite tricky. I wish there was an art supply store like next door to me. Yeah, that's a good question as well. Yes, cost of paper. So this is $50 or $60. Eckersley's Art Supplies, and you can get them posted. It can be posted to you. Eckersley's, that's where I usually buy these from. Eckersley's is spelled ECKERSLEY, and yeah, they're located in Adelaide and Melbourne, and so they've got lots and lots of art supplies. There is a place in Narracourt that also does art supplies. They have got some paper for me. I'll have to find out and post it later what the name of that company is, but it's an art supply store. Art on Ormerod Street, Art on Ormerod in Narracourt. So that's quite handy. Yeah, so all the answers to these questions I'm going to rewrite as well for you, so you don't have to remember or be watching. So yeah, no, definitely. I love that there's other coloured pencil lovers out there. Makes me very happy. We're a strange bunch. Joking. Now, so I want to get real dark in here. Nope, that's not the right colour. Here we go. That's the colour I want. So with flesh and skin, it's like not just pink, it's like maroons and reds and here we go. Get in there, we get light and dark. It all adds to the realistic side of things. Every little tiny mark that you do adds to it. You just keep going and going. What other things are there? There's actually some really good utensils that you can buy from art stores. I've actually put an order in from a company coming from the UK. It's a solvent. So it's a coloured pencil solvent. And coloured pencil solvent, and you paint it on the top of coloured pencil with two colours, and it blends it together automatically for you. So then once that's sort of dry, you can then go over with more coloured pencils. So it's just a quick way of blending everything together, which is really cool, and I'm going to give that a go. I'll probably do a YouTube trial of that just to show how it works. I hate going over with my hand. Usually I get some tissue paper. You get tissue paper and cover that up so you can just move through there. It's Still a very slow process. What have we got? We got 8:38. My gosh, I think I've gone for an hour. Does everyone still want me to keep going? You can say no if you like. Blending this in, getting that in there. So that light source stays there. Nice glistening corner of the eye. Now this part is definitely not white. It is a pink, and it's like a fuchsia pink. Very lightly though, because you don't want them to end up looking ill. Delicate balance. I mean, I guess you guys can head off if it's been too long. But I could keep going for hours. Julie. Thanks, Julie. I guess I was told I can go for as long as I like, so 1 o'clock a.m. Starting on the next corner here. Here I was thinking that I was going to be able to do the eye and hair for you. Yeah, I'm dreaming. Eyes are always very popular to draw. I think they're quite a beautiful thing to draw. Thanks, Cara. I'm enjoying. Another technique as well is burnishing, which it's called burnishing. So it is loud noises. I'm going to grab an eraser, not with blue in the end. And I like using just an eraser like this. And burnishing just sort of doesn't take the pigment away. You press lightly, but it sort of smudges the pigment. You don't want to take it off the page. It just smudges it, grinds it into the paper. And that's a really cool effect to be able to blend rather than going in harshly with another colour. So light. All right. Nice and pink on the edges there, but it's more of a flesh colour. This is one of my favourite colours, I think. Venetian red. I grew up reading a lot of children's books. Oh my gosh, I could not get enough of kids' books. And I'd read I love reading, but I'd read the story and then, but I'd just really read, just get into the drawings of the illustrations of it all. It was just, yeah, so much fun. Just thinking, wow, I'd love to do that. Trying to build up my portfolio for children's books. Noses next time. Oh yes, I'll do a nose for you next time, Cara. Happily. Noses are good fun. There's a nose, there's that nose here as well. I've got that. Yeah, see the nose. Noses are cool. They do look quite 3D on page. Another technique as well. Oh, I'm going to show you this. This is cool. This is a really cool technique. Now, you get one of those, now what are they called? Scalpel? No, I forget what this is called, but you get the end, not mine. That's all right. So you get the end And if you want to just take a bit of pigment off, so look at that, you get the lightest, hairlines. This is good for hair because you get those little lines. But if you just want to take a bit of pigment off, it just scrapes it away. I'm literally sitting here smiling. This is just... So you go in, so gently, and it just takes off that little tiny bit of pigment. Like, who would have thought, like, scraping away at coloured pencil, it's all experimental. Like, there's no right or wrong. You don't want to cut the page either, because that would be annoying. I mean, you probably can't even see that on the video. It's just tiny, tiny little pieces. Another style I did here was I had a white pencil and I went in first with white. You can't really see what you're doing, but you add in the lines. And then when you colour over with the colour, it slips over the white. So you leave that white bit there, and then it allows you to put that, just leave that light source, and that's amazing. So that's what I did there, and that was really cool. Just do a little bit more here. It's all about light. Okay. So just going to go in there. A little bit of grey. Warm grey. Because it matters. Yes. This large blue eraser. So Julie's asked what this large blue eraser is. That is called it's Faber-Castell brand. It's called Putty Eraser. And you can get this from Arts on Ormerod in Narracourt. I've seen them there. And they are, you can actually get some pencils actually from that place. There's a really good art store there. And this is just cheap. I think it's like $6 or something. And it goes to a tip. So you can just get it right to a fine point and you just go in, you can dab it. I mean, that's a bit too much. But you dab it in and it makes this like clicking sound. But you can get like teeny tiny little details. So it's like a normal eraser, like the normal square rectangle erasers that you get, but better, way better, because you can bend it. And it's not blue tack, because people get confused that it's blue tack and they start trying to put up their posters with it. But I just laugh and laugh, throw my head back and laugh, because it's just an eraser. I'll show you some more of my work in a little bit. So you can see what other things I've done. And feel free to follow me on my Facebook page as well. That shows everything that I'm up to. I did a commission just recently for my dad for a crayfish. Actually, I might get my offsider to put that up. I'm not sure I think she can post it up on the page there. Thanks, Mum. So going lightly, and just to show that eye is 3D. little bit of burnishing. Get these two colours together. This is just a normal, gosh, bare Papermate, cheapo eraser. I find that the best because they don't really erase too much. They just smudge it. But that's exactly what I want, so smudging it together. So I think my mum is posting a crayfish that you can have a look. I'm not too sure where she's posting it, but maybe on the page that you guys are on to watch this video. She'll figure it out. Okay, some red. So I keep on going back to my favourites, Polychromos. She's got a little bit of red there. Is that the right colour? Pressing really hard there. Sometimes I just don't even think the pigment's going down at all. I'm pressing so lightly, but it does. It all adds up. And there's a lot darker here. Bit of shadow here from the eyelashes. Sort of lean back and have a little look. A little bit of blue as well in the shadow. But I'm not yet ready to put that in because that's scary. Hope everyone's still enjoying this. My gosh, it's nearly 9 o'clock. Maybe I should stop some point. Just don't want to bore anyone. Just constantly going back in, changing angles. You can see how it's just smoothly blended in. Burnishing. All right, maybe I'll get on with the eyelashes. So she's got mascara on, so I'm going to do the ends of her hair. It's so yellow. So you just gently go in. She's got light bases where she hasn't put the mascara. This is how particular I get. This is just... a lot of thought that goes into these. Going in, just getting those light bits in. Kind of made that up there, but that's all right. A little bit more. Just sharpen it. This sharpener is It's a good brand. It's Brinell or something. Oh, Brinzeal design. Some replacement blades, but this cost me like, I think it was $50. It's just withstood a lot of sharpening. And it's so important to have a nice sharp pencil. Oh, sorry, I've got a blocked nose now. Now I'll just see if I can get some eyelashes in there just to show you how I do those. There's a few light ones in there, so start with the light. Some light colours. It's all about layering. And don't be afraid to press dark here. A beautiful mascara. I go light at the ends just to get that tip in. That's quite dark in there, so I'm just going to fill that in. Lightly for now, see what else I can play with. Don't commit to that dark pressing hard just yet. But as you can see, I'm doing every single stroke individually, which is half the fun. I like going close up and getting a really good reference photo because you can just see all the details. It sort of gets a bit messy here, but you generally just follow the same lines. A wayward one. It's quite dark. Again, if anyone's followed me all the way through this video, I'm very, very impressed. And I really appreciate it. Now, that's okay. That's okay if you can't. That's all right, Mum. I can do that later. Sometimes I hold my breath while I'm drawing and I shouldn't do that. Yes. Oh, Interact Limestone has asked, how many hours do you draw a day? I would say, well, it's broken up actually because I have a lot of admin things to do as well. So I do say in the morning I might do a little bit of social media and then I might do a video. So like editing a video that I'm going to put up on YouTube. I'd say a good 4 hours a day. 4 hours, yeah, so around about that. At the moment, I am working on, and I've just released, Wattle Range Youth Exchange has just released one of my videos to do with the youth week that was meant to happen, but then coronavirus happened. So now it's all online. So if you go to Youth Week, is it Youth? Wattle Range Youth Engage. That's their Facebook name, and they've released a YouTube series they're going to release. They've released the first video, and it's how to draw or how to use coloured pencil. So it's like this, just sped up a bit. And I'm drawing an apple realistically, and I show you how to blend, and all these little tips and tricks as well. And yeah, so you hop on over to the youth. It's the Wattle Range Youth Engage Facebook page, and click on the link there, and it'll take you to that video. It's about 20 minutes long. And what else? At the moment, I'm actually working on my portfolio for children's books, because I haven't got really a portfolio. Yes, I've got like a lot of realistic drawings of just static things, but I need to build up my portfolio for children's books. I need to do character design and landscapes and objects, and show a book publisher that I can actually draw in various different ways, and show like different styles as well. So I'm working on that at the moment. I do a few commissions, a few select per month, depending on the workload. But I do, so like for pet portraits, and people like to get their children drawn, and it's a lovely little gift. A bit more of a sort of a special keepsake that you can pass down. But it's people love getting a hand-drawn item. It's not something that you think of, but then when someone gets it, they're just like, wow, that's so lovely. You sort of see it. Yeah, it's coming together, isn't it? I hope. Cara says, I'm really enjoying it. Thanks, Cara. Glad I can bring you some tips and tricks on this Thursday evening. Going a lot later than what I thought it would. I forget that coloured pencil takes a lot of my time. I recently just finished a couple of months ago I did this, I did a drawing that's probably 1 metre by like, I don't know, it's big. And so it is, it's a big image for the John Shaw Nielsen. I was going to enter into that this year. I was so excited to get into it, because when I came over here from Melbourne, I entered into the Wattle Range Art Show, and I got the Merrill Prize and the Packers Prize for Len Teagle's hands that I drew, and I was so excited. I was so chuffed about that. It's just a black and white lead pencil drawing, and I just thought, yep, I'm gonna enter into the John Shaw Nielsen, and I'm gonna do a giant big picture. It took me months to do. Hours and hours of work, and it got cancelled obviously because of coronavirus, but there's always next year. And so that's good fun. I know the John Shaw is quite popular around the Limestone Coast. I know it's based in Penola, so Penola Art Gallery there. What else have I got? I'm just, mainly just, and editorial work as well. I'd like to sort of get magazines, like freelance work for magazines and things like that. And also show in art galleries. I'd love to do large scale drawings, because these are all fine to do, and they don't take too long. But the large scale ones is something that I would really like to do, because it's just kind of like, whoa, someone walking past that, it's just like, you took the time to do that. And I'm like, yep, I love it. Anyone else out there is an artist or budding artist? I am just going over and over, just pressing hard, just really getting that light and dark. Oh yes, Limestone Coast, well done, next year for sure. Yes. Yeah, it took me like a good couple of hours, and then I went and got it professionally framed. Julie's asked, do I work with any other mediums? That's a really good question. I've tried other mediums. I try a watercolor. Actually, I have an old style of mine was to do watercolor underneath to get the color down, and then going over with colored pencil. But I just, the nature of watercolor is a little bit less predictable, so I just prefer to go with colored pencils, just straight up. And acrylic, no. I did try I remember high school, Tennyson, good old Tennyson Woods College. I tried a little bit of oil painting, and that was kind of cool. But it's funny because I like coloured pencil mainly because it's not messy. There's no clean up. They're nice and neat and clean and dry, and they're just super easy to manipulate. So no, just good old coloured pencil for me. I should experiment a little bit more. It is always good to get out there and experiment. What I'm next working on is I'm actually going to make my own paper. So I want to get into paper making and make my own paper to draw on. So I want to trial that out, see how I go with that. Cara, I love it. I'm not good at realism. Haha. You can be if you put in thousands of hours of practice. But no, definitely. I think everyone can be. I mean, I guess I was talking about this with my brother the other day, and he was just talking about getting good at something, and it was just interesting to hear his take on it. Like, when you do love something enough, you put so much. You want to push yourself and then see how far you can go with it. But I get it though, because like I don't think I'd ever learn an instrument because I just don't have the patience to sit down and do it. I'll just see if I can find, hold on one moment. Got a bag of tricks here of my old work because my mum keeps requesting me show some work. Oops. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of work here. Old work. My gosh. So I've got, oops. Hopefully got a little microphone here. Hopefully it's not too loud. This is definitely not this is old. That is an old style. I didn't press, like this is just so old. Oh, wow. I've come so far from these, I think. Just sort of getting used to, here's some sort of, that's an old watercolour. There's some watercolour. There we are. That's done. That was done in 2012. 2012. Wow. That was just done last year. Lots of hair. So lots of watercolour. Oh, the pig. Oh, they're just so old, these ones. Oh, this was done in 2012 as well. My gosh. So I have a lot of folders with a lot of pictures. You can kind of see both. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I just don't know why I've kept some of these. Lots of hair. Well, there's my logo. There was my old logo, and there's the new one. So that's kind of cool. There's some more braids. There's a man with flowers in his beard. Retro. That's an old commission. Yeah. Lots of different work. I try and keep as much work as I can. I don't like to throw things out. But that's the thing. Practice got me. Oops. Practice gets you so far. Like I just kept at it and just. I mean, look how this was the first. Okay, so this was the first picture I drew in 2015. So it was 2015, and I'd quit my job at a graphic design company, and I was like, what do I want to do? I want to draw with colored pencil. And then that was the first picture that I drew. And it is so light. So you see how different that is compared to this, where like that's just a few years of just constantly drawing and practicing. Look how far you can sort of get, I guess. So everyone starts somewhere. Everyone. And it's possible. Cara, find it hard to break down an image and then copy. Thanks, Interact. So Cara, finding it hard to break down an image and then, yeah. So, I mean, another way you could do that is print out the reference photo that you've got and literally cut it down so it's not just an eye just staring at you or a subject or object just staring at you. You can blow it up, break it down, and then color in that section. So you break your paper into a grid and then you color in just that section. And because you're not looking, it's another trick to that as well is turning the object upside down and then drawing upside down. So your brain just doesn't sort of sit there and go, well, I've got to draw an eye, so it's like an almond shape, and then it's just, that's it. But it allows your brain to sort of forget that this is how an eye should look. So, yeah, so I hope that helps because it's a good point. It can be tricky. I'd like to maybe do a YouTube clip on how to really start breaking down, because a lot of those YouTube lessons just sort of go, all right, just go straight into it and just start drawing and just go wild, and it's realistic, yay. And then, but you're not actually really breaking it down for people who really need it simplified. So, and that's all it is in my brain. I just I try and simplify it in my brain. So that's a good idea. I might sort of try that as well. Try getting into that kind of style of YouTube clip. Anything else I've got here? This is one, actually. This is one that you'll be able to find at the Millicent News Agency here in Millicent. And this is a greeting card that I did for Henderson Greetings when I was working there. And it's a part of Australiana range, but I don't own these. I don't own these anymore, these designs, because I did that for the company. But yeah, they were put into a range of greeting cards, which was really, really cool. Yes, so we've got the shading here. I'm going to go in with a little bit of red because she has good old blood vessels. No, yeah, so Julie, yeah, can you show me the reference photo, please? I probably missed it at the beginning. No, I didn't show anyone, so apologies there. I'll just have to rearrange this so I can show you. Okay, follow along with me. See my lovely clean desk. So that's the reference photo. I've got it blown up really big on my computer so you can really see what I've got going on there. Yes. So the bigger the picture and the more pixels in the picture, the more I can get that detail in. Yeah, so blow it up real big. I see that and I'm just like, yes, that's an amazing challenge. Away I go. Yeah, and then what I do, the first thing I do when I look at a photo that I'm about to do is, oh, that's fantastic. No, yeah, definitely. I'd love to do one-on-one lessons. First thing I look at when I look at an image is the light and the dark. So I'm just like, okay, well, that's really quite dark, and then you just see the ring around here is dark, and you just sort of separate the dark and the light. But yeah, you can sort of see, and then I trace it out with lead pencil, so I make sure that I do it. But sometimes I'll trace it out and then it'll be completely wrong, and then I'll erase it all and then trace it out again. It takes a few goes. But yeah, so that is the reference. Thanks for reminding me to actually show it, because otherwise it's just like just an eyeball on a page. Whoops. So I've got my little setup here. Thanks very much for all the comments. It's lovely. Oops. I'm going to get in here with some. Now I've got everything in my way. I'm going to get those veins in there. No, sharper. Yeah, I'd love to do some lessons. Maybe at the Millicent Library when I get around to it. Oh, that's a good question. Julie, where do you get your reference photos from? That's a very good question. I've been told off before by getting them from Google because they are not free stock photos. So I go to a website called Unsplash. Where am I? So I go to a website called Unsplash, and they are free stock photos. There's Pexels and Pixabay. Yes, they're free stock photos that you can use. And you just got to sort of make sure that you reference the photographer in them. But it's handy because you can just type in girl holding cup and it'll come up with many women holding a cup. So a good reference. And that's a good point as well. Reference photos are the key. Sometimes when I'm a little bit lost into what I want to draw, sometimes I'll just look on those websites and I will just look for something that I think would be really cool to draw. So a lot of light, lots of colours, anything that I can use all my colours for. But yeah, so that's handy to do. Yeah, so just be careful with getting anything off of Google, because that's a copy. It can be a copyright issue, but as long as you reference the photographer, then it should be all good. If I make these too dark, she'll look a bit stressed, so I'm not going to go too hard with these. Just to get them lightly in there. Could be the longest interact video ever. Just kick me off if you need to. See, I just lightly dot. I'm just dotting these in actually. Just I don't have any real crazy pattern. And then like they don't have to be exact to make it realistic. Like it doesn't have to be exact. You can just sort of go, well, there's a vein there. So I'm just going to go like that. Oh. Shout out to Ryan. Thank you very much. Should I go much longer? I'm not too sure. Maybe I could put this up as a video on my, if you want to go and follow me on Facebook, because I could keep going for another hour or 2 hours, and I know everyone's probably got a job to go to tomorrow, so maybe I'll finish this or film the finishing of it, and then I'll put it up for you on my Facebook page, Alicia Barton Illustration, and then you can watch the progress of that, and then you know where to sort of reach me there as well. Happy to talk to anyone about any tutoring they want to do, any further classes that they want to do. I want to sort of get into running classes, coloured pencil classes at Millicent Library, so I'm going to talk to them about that, but hopefully that can all start happening soon. So follow me on my Facebook to see things. Updates on that kind of thing. So I might just leave it here, and then yeah, I might just sort of say goodbye now, and thank you very, very, very much for coming in and following me for this long. It's been 2 hours. And I really appreciate everyone coming along. I love that there are other fellow coloured pencil lovers, or art lovers, basically. I also want to teach a few things in Mount Gambier. I think probably Mount Gambier and Millicent. I'll probably do all the Limestone Coast as well as, so go between libraries. But I'd love to reach out to everyone here. So yeah, follow me along on my Facebook, and then you can see what I'm up to. But all right, I'm going to say goodbye, and thank you so much for people. Thank you so much for everyone that has followed along with me this whole time, and thanks for Interact Limestone for having me on here. Yeah, so just reading a few little comments. Yeah, thanks so much, Interact. That's just been great. They've been great to work with as well. So, yeah, thanks very much for all the opportunity there. So, yeah, thank you. And, yeah, so I'll leave it there, and, I'll say goodbye. It's sad. I'm leaving you all. All right, I'll put this up as a video, I promise, on my Facebook page and YouTube, all finished. And yeah, thanks for following along. Enjoy your evening, everyone, and good night.